Hello, everyone. Welcome to this story. Today, I want to share a journey that touches the heart, a journey that begins in silence, in fear, in doubt, and ends in confidence, in freedom, in hope. This is not just a story of grammar or vocabulary. This is not about exams or marks. It is about life, about how one language became the key to open doors that once seemed locked. This is the story of how English changed my life forever. In the early days, life without English felt like standing outside a window. Inside, there was light, laughter, conversations, and opportunities. But outside, there was silence. I could see the world moving, but I could not join in. Books sat on shelves, full of knowledge, but the words were strange. Movies played on screens, but the jokes passed me by. People spoke, but their voices sounded like music without meaning. That was life before English. The classroom was the first place where English appeared. The teacher stood at the board, writing words that felt heavy. She asked us to repeat. We tried, but our voices cracked. Some laughed, some stayed quiet, and for many, English became a wall, too high to climb, too hard to break. Every mistake felt like failure. Every attempt felt like weakness. But slowly, something changed. A sentence understood, a word remembered, a phrase spoken out loud. These small victories felt like gold. And soon, English was no longer just a subject. It was a door to knowledge, a door to stories, a door to possibilities. In school, the difference was clear. Before English, subjects felt distant. Textbooks looked confusing. But with English, they opened. Science came alive. History made sense. Literature spoke with power. Through English, the world began to speak. And for the first time, I felt included. Confidence grew in small steps. The first time I answered a question in English, my hands shook, my voice trembled. But the teacher smiled. The class listened. And I realized something important. Mistakes are not the end. Mistakes are the beginning. Each error taught me. Each correction built me. And little by little, I began to stand taller. English also changed friendships. Without it, conversations stayed small, limited to those nearby. But with English, I could connect beyond borders. I could talk to classmates from different backgrounds. I could understand jokes, share ideas, exchange dreams. English became the bridge. Suddenly, strangers became friends. Imagine the joy of meeting someone from another country. At first, you feel nervous, but then both of you begin to speak English. Slowly, the fear fades. You share stories, you laugh, you connect. That one conversation could create a bond that lasts forever. Without English, it would have been silence. With English, it becomes friendship. As life moved forward, the workplace arrived. And with it, the real test. Interviews in English, presentations in English, training in English. At first, it felt impossible. Sitting in front of interviewers, hearing their questions, my mind went blank. But then, practice spoke. My voice came. I answered, not perfectly, but bravely. And that bravery was enough. A job was offered. A door opened. Inside the office, English was everywhere. Emails, meetings, reports, calls with clients. At first, it felt overwhelming, but day by day, the fear disappeared. I began to join discussions. I shared ideas. Sometimes my words were simple. Sometimes my grammar was not perfect. But people understood me. And soon, respect followed. Then came a turning point. My manager asked me to give a presentation. In English. My heart raced. My hands shook. But I prepared. I practiced every word. On the day, I stood in front of the team. I spoke. My voice was clear. My message was strong. And when I finished, They clapped. That sound still echoes in my memory. It was not just applause, it was proof. Proof that English had changed me. Travel was another gift. Imagine arriving in a foreign country. Signs everywhere. Announcements in the airport. People rushing past. Without English, I would have felt lost. But with English, I felt ready. I could ask for directions. I could book a ticket. I could order food. I could connect with people from different cultures. On a train, a tourist asked me a question in English. I answered. A simple answer. But it started a conversation. We shared stories of our countries. We laughed at differences. We admired similarities. By the end, we were friends. That is what English does. It connects hearts that would never meet otherwise. English also transformed entertainment. Songs that once felt empty now carried meaning. I could understand the lyrics. I could feel the emotions. I could sing along. Movies that once needed subtitles now spoke directly. I laughed at the right time. I cried at the right time. I understood the depth. English made art alive. But the greatest change was inside. English gave me courage. Before, I stayed silent in meetings. I avoided strangers. I feared mistakes. But English taught me to try, to speak, to fail, to learn. And slowly, fear turned into confidence. Silence turned into voice. And that voice carried power. One day, I looked back. I remembered the times I sat quietly, too afraid to speak. I remembered the moments I felt small, and I realized that was the past. Today, I am different. Today, I can speak, read, write, and connect. Today, English is not just a language. It is my freedom. English has changed education. It has changed work. It has changed travel. It has changed friendships. It has changed confidence. It has changed life itself. Without English, the world felt small. With English, the world feels endless. And so, I say this with all my heart. English changed my life forever. Because English is not only words. It is opportunity. It is courage. It is respect. It is connection. And most of all, it is freedom. So to you, listening today, remember this. Do not be afraid of mistakes. Do not be afraid of laughter. Each word you learn is a step forward. Each sentence you speak is a victory. Keep learning, keep speaking, keep believing. Because one day you will look back and you will say, English changed my life forever.